to Swan Island Dahlias. I'm Heather and I'm so excited. This time of year is really an exciting time around here because we get to ship out the beautiful dahlias that we've worked so hard to grow, and now it's your turn to get to grow them in your yard. And so today I'm going to walk you through what your order is going to look like. And so we're going to go step by step of what you get to receive. And so I'm really excited to walk through this order with you. All of the orders that ship out of here go out through the post office. So we don't ship by FedEx, we don't ship by UPS, we ship everything through the post office. So it's going to come just like your mail does daily. And so this box will be shipping out of here in the next couple days. And so we are going to walk through step by step. So hopefully you're running to the mailbox just like I do every day, waiting for all my flowers to arrive at my house, because I am so excited in the springtime when the flowers start arriving and getting ready to go in my yard. It's a little early in the Pacific Northwest here at the farm. We're not planting yet, but most of you in the warmer climates are getting ready to plant. So you're going to need to wait till your ground temperature is about 60 degrees. So don't be in a rush. Make sure your ground is ready for the dahlias. It's really important to wait. So if you receive your box and you're not ready to plant, keep it in a cool area, but somewhere that it will not freeze. We do ship by state and not by zone, so it's really important to just keep that box somewhere protected, but do not refrigerate it. These guys, their little time clocks are starting to warm up, and we want them to warm up. So don't set them back, don't change their time clocks, and just let them naturally warm up. So we'll walk through this box. So I'm really kind of excited. I get to be Maura. So Maura, your box will be arriving here shortly. We ship by priority mail. Sometimes locally they might go a little by ground, but most of the time all by priority mail going across the US, just so they go by air so they get to you quicker. But it is your responsibility to watch for your tracking emails. If we have your email address, you're getting an email with the tracking, especially if you've requested a custom ship date and it's going ahead of its standard time. So please be looking for that email so you can watch and know when your box is going to arrive, especially if you're getting cold conditions early in the spring. We can't know everybody's weather conditions, and we need you to help us watch for your boxes so they don't sit out in cold temperatures. We do pack them with a lot of packing medium to keep them protected, but it is important that you watch and keep your dahlias protected. They cannot freeze. They are perishable, and we need the help from you to keep these little babies. We've packed them with love, but we need you to give them love once they get to your house. So let's open up this box so that we can see what's inside, because Maura's going to get this little package here in a couple days, and yours is going to be coming shortly. So this is like, I just get chills because I know the beauty that she's going to get soon. So we're going to slice this little guy open. We do try and tell the post office, help us by not allowing this guy to freeze, but like I said, it's going to take everybody's help along the way, and it's going to take your help to make sure it doesn't freeze. So we do give you a little green card that's going to come right on top, and it's got some of the most important information right there clear. It tells you that each tuber is hand stamped. Now each tuber gets a lot of love before it leaves our farm. It goes through its dividing process. It then gets checked again by one of our expert staff members for an eye. So it's now been double checked to make sure it's going to have an eye. Then it gets checked again when it gets hand stamped with its variety name. And then it gets checked again a fourth time when it gets picked for your order to make sure it's going to have a viable eye. Now they are perishable, so we can have an eye that doesn't push. So it's been checked 4 times before it leaves our farm to make sure it has a viable eye. Now they are dormant, of course, when we're dividing all winter long. It takes us about 6 months to divide almost 50 acres. Over 500,000 dahlia plants get divided here on the farm. So there are a lot of processing that happens along the way by hand. And so it's really, really important that you give them love once they get into your hands. So We hand stamp every variety with the variety name. So it's really important you take each one of them out of the bag and see that. Then we tell you that if you're not ready to plant, again, keep them somewhere safe, somewhere cool, but not refrigerating them. The dahlias might not be sprouting. Some of them might be. You want to make sure you bring them in the house if you want them to sprout a little quicker before you plant. But they don't need to be sprouting when you plant. We do not pre-sprout our tubers. They go directly in the ground without sprouting. Some of them will be pre-sprouted. That's because they've been in our shipping room, which is a little warmer than our storage rooms. Don't worry about it if some are sprouted and some are not. We also would like the sprouts not to be any longer than 1 to 2 inches in length. If they are longer than a 2-inch sprout, then we will have you trim that sprout back just a little, just because we don't want that sprout to be too long. If it's a long sprout, some of you may think you have a great head start, but you actually have a very weak start, and that plant will not stand up when it's growing properly. So we actually would like you to trim that sprout back a little, and we give you a little hint on that. And then we tell you that the dahlias should all be up and growing and poked through the ground within 3 to 5 weeks. If they are not, then you need to be digging down and checking on them. And there's a few reasons that they might not be poking through the ground. 1, slugs and snails. Everybody has them. No matter where you live, you have them. And if you don't believe me, do a little research. Everybody has them. You need slug and snail bait out after you plant. Those little slugs can live up to 5 feet down underneath the ground, and they slither through the night and do not leave tracks. So be sure you're putting that slug and snail bait down just so that they don't eat those sprouts while you're sleeping, because you'll never see your dahlias. The other thing is they can rot. So we offer 100% guarantee so that we can make sure you have beautiful dahlias this summer. So if they are not up in 3 to 5 weeks, first thing you need to do is dig down and check on them, and then you need to be contacting us. If they are not up by August 1st at the latest, you definitely need to be contacting us for assistance. And if you have any growing problems, by October 1st is our cutoff date that we need to hear from you. We guarantee them, but we do have to have a cutoff date so that we can help you. Then we offer our complete guarantee instructions on the back, but this little card is your go-to. You do need to open your package within 10 days of receiving it. That's because we need you to check it. We need to make sure something didn't happen in shipping. So don't set this box aside. Don't put it in the closet. Don't set it out in the garage. Don't let somebody in your household set it aside and you not know it arrived. They are perishable. Think of them as living things. Open them. Check on these babies. They were left here with a lot of love and they need your love. So open them. So then you'll have a growing guide from us. That is a handy dandy guide. Don't lose it. Keep it. But if you lose it, all the information is on our website. Then you will have your invoice. Orders don't leave here without an invoice. You will have this, and attached to it is something very important. This is your planting stakes. And Maura, you've got some beautiful planting stakes, and you can take these little babies off, open this up, and in this little clear bag will be 1 planting stake for every tuber you ordered. These are gold. You have 1 of these for every tuber that is in your bag. So find these and match them up to your tubers. So I'll set my invoice aside. Some of you may have a catalog, some of you may not. We have some left over from the summer, so these early orders have them. And as I open up my order, there's lots of packing paper in here. That's to keep your tubers beautiful and warm while they travel. If you ordered 1 tuber of lots of different varieties, they are all packed in 1 bag. Don't panic. We get that phone call. You put them all together and you didn't label them. But what did I tell you? We hand stamped them all before they left here. Now, believe me, they all have names on them. So, as I said, hand stamped. If you read this pink tag, it tells you names are stamped on each tuber. Open and inspect immediately. So it tells me she has 11 tubers. She will then have 11 tags. So best thing to do is lay these babies out. Lay out these tags. These tags have the names, the bloom style, the bloom size, the plant height. And once you lay them all out, you can pop open your bag. Now the peat moss sometimes does stick to the tubers a little. And you might take an old toothbrush or a paintbrush. And all you need to do is dust this off. This is I do. Now we do always have sometimes a little trouble. Sometimes the ink can run and bleed together a little. So sometimes you have to take and brush them off, or sometimes you might not know the first time you look at it and you're like, oh, I'm gonna have to just put that one aside and look at the next one. But almost always you can easily decipher the letters. And if we didn't think you could tell the name, sometimes we re-stamp them as we're doing it when we're shipping the order out. Or we might handwrite with one of our indelible pencils right on the variety as we're doing the order, just to make sure that you can identify the varieties when you get them. So as I said, you could always take a dry paintbrush, and the peat moss will come off really clear. So we're going to take a break, come right close to the camera so you can see the names. But a paintbrush works great. Now if you for some reason had your peat moss seem like it was a little stickier to the tuber, you could take a little dribble of your water on your faucet and run the name or the tuber right under to see if the name would be a little clearer to you. These are all coming off really nice and easily, and a dry paintbrush works great. A toothbrush, like I said, would work great. And this would be very easy. I'm having no problem identifying these. These names are coming very easy to see. So I want to come to the camera and show you really clear and quickly how easy it is to identify these tubers. And like I said, we spend a lot of time hand stamping every tuber that leaves the farm, and it's really important that you see that and know how we identify all of our tubers, so that you're prepared when you get your order and know how to identify them, because we're never going to send you anything that's not been identified. So if you order ones of each thing, they're all going to come in one bag together. Now, if you've ordered a quantity of 2 or more of the same variety, one variety, then those are all going to come in one bag together. So for instance, this has 2 of Oregon Sunset. Those are going to be bagged separately. So we put multiples of the same variety in a bag together so that it makes it a little easier for you when you have multiples. So if they're singles, they're all in one bag. If they are multiples, then we separate them out for you to make it a little easier. If you order collections, collections are pre-done, and those are preset groupings that we pre-do and offer in our catalog for you or online. Those are pre-bagged, and those actually will be pre-done with a color label. And the interesting thing here is that the white labels, the name tags, are pre-done, and they're actually in the bag with the tuber. So it's a little different in that we don't put these white tags on the invoice. All other white tags are on the invoice except for collections. So these tags are in the bags, but all other white tags will be stapled onto your invoice. So don't lose that invoice, because you need those white tags. So I'm going to come close now, and let's take a peek at the tuber so you can see these guys up close. Okay, as you can see, the names are stamped on there beautifully. As I said, we hand stamp each one of the varieties. And some of these are starting to sprout. Now this guy has lots of eyes on it. Now this variety in particular, Yellowbird, is known to have lots of eyes. It's just a happy camper. He doesn't have leafy gall, and there are many varieties that do this. So if you have concerns over any varieties you receive from us, take a picture, send it by email, give us a call. But there isn't anything to worry about if you see multiple eyes, unless they're fusing. But if you see multiple eyes, don't panic. Send us a picture. And eyes can be, which are what's going to grow into a sprout. They can be still dormant when you receive your order, or you might see them sprouting. They can be yellow, they can be white, they can be purple. And this guy you can see is nice and white. Back here, we've got one that's starting and it's a little larger than the others. They sometimes look like a pimple or, and they might start to turn more green as they grow. But like I said, they can be pink, white, purple, and sometimes they're just much more dormant and they're just dark. And so do not worry if you're starting to just see the dark spot there and they haven't popped out. Like I said, we do not pre-sprout any of our dahlias. We plant them without pre-sprouting. So know that all of your dahlias have been hand stamped with love and that they're ready to go in the ground without pre-sprouting them. But if you have any concerns, be sure to take a picture and contact us before you panic or have any worries about anything. Dahlias come in all sizes and shapes, and some of the biggest dahlias make the smallest tubers. So don't judge them by what you see, because that isn't anything to do with what they develop into. And sometimes we denote that in our catalog about what you're going to receive. But we plant the broken, the smallest, and we sell the largest tubers. So definitely don't panic about what you see, because you are getting the largest tubers that variety makes. And it has nothing to do with what you're going to see come out of the ground. So now that I've gone over how we package our tubers, you are ready to receive your order. So you should be as excited as I am, waiting at the mailbox, waiting for that email. Gosh, it's just going to be like an amazing year. If you haven't ordered, get your order in. Still amazing variety of dahlias available. The variety selection is great. We've had a great year growing this past summer. It looks like we're going to have a great year ahead of us. Mora, your order is coming here shortly in a couple days, which is exciting. You know how to expect your collections. You can already see white tags are in these bags. Remember, all other white tags will be on your invoice, but you need to be watching for your email. Watch your mailboxes. We know weather is unpredictable, but don't expect to plant your order as soon as you get it. Make sure your ground temperature is 60 degrees. You don't need to pre-sprout your tubers unless you want to start them early, but make sure you're watching our videos on how to pre-sprout them. Do not put them in red solo cups with those crowns sticking out. You're just going to kill me. I panic every time I see those crowns sticking out of the out of the cups. You kill me. Please don't do it. Make sure you watch our videos on waking up tubers. After that, have an amazing year. Take care of your babies. Love your dahlias. Share your flowers. Be good to the world. And have a beautiful day. Take care.